about it. I felt like you were not supporting my business.
You're on like business number 11. You might as well have been sitting in front of a TV that's turned off. He left his wife just standing there and came up to my wife. I'm like, hold on, bro. If it all the things, but I'm out. It went from being we have a lifestyle business to business being our lifestyle.
Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Ashley. I run the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast and the company Speak Your Way to Cash, where we help speakers, experts, entrepreneurs land large contracts, sell more services, have a better life. My name's Ashley. This is my husband, Chris. We have the same last name, Kirkwood, because we are married. And today...
That was a strange way of saying that.
Today, I decided...
Are there a ton of husbands and wives who don't have the same last name?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a thing.
All right.
Anyways, we got Chris Kirkwood here. We're gonna we're testing out an idea where me and Chris talk about different topics over and above business and other topics. But today we're gonna talk about Chris. We're gonna talk about how Chris came to the company, if he likes it, how I am to work with. We're gonna talk about his.
You sure you don't want to practice?
We're gonna see where this goes. We're gonna see where this goes. We're gonna see where this goes. And y'all let me know if y'all like this, because I really do. I want to try out a show. So introduce yourself to the audience who doesn't know you. They should know you, but you know.
My name is Chris Kirkwood, and I am the husband of Ashley Kirkwood, and we have the same last name because we're married. What else should I say?
What do you do here?
I can say a lot of random things. But
no, what do you do here?
Oh, so what I do at the company, officially I do director of sales. So I do the sales for our launches. So our virtual summits, challenges, things of that nature. I engage our audience in the chat. I do calls, emails, texts, follow-up sales calls for our plethora of products.
And coaching.
Yes, and I coach.
He's a great coach, you guys. He's very patient. So for some people who don't even know our story, what would you say is how we even got together as a couple?
We got together college, our senior year of college. We ended up at the same campus. I was at University of Illinois at Chicago. Ashley did an inter-campus transfer from University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign to my campus. And that is when we actually when we met. We met after, we did go to the same high school. And
grammar school.
We did not go to the same grammar school at the same time.
And junior high.
Junior high, yeah.
So same junior high, same high school. You say not same grammar school. I don't remember, but I feel like we did, but maybe not. And we took the same bus. We
did for years. We took the same bus.
And you knew me.
I knew of you. That's different. Is this my story or yours? Because I feel like you just want to interject and tell your side.
Okay, go ahead. Tell your side.
All right. So senior year of college, it was the beginning of the year. I was in a student center with some friends, and you were walking down the hallway, meeting one of my friends as well to say hi. And I think he was helping you around the campus or whatever.
Yeah, he was supposed to show me around campus.
And I recognized you. We recognized each other. We started talking, and then I was like, "Well, I can show you around the campus from here on out." And then
just go.
Yeah, because we were buddies, right? So it was it's like a bro thing. You don't even gotta like say it. You just kind of look like, yeah, cool, I got it, great, bam, and there was nothing else. There was nothing else to be said. So that day we talked a bunch. I invited you to come work out with me. You showed up. We ended up talking for like 2-3 hours in the gym. I invited you to dinner, and then you came, and I think the rest is pretty much history. We were together every day after that. Yeah.
Until like 6 months, and then we were engaged.
Nah, I only think it wasn't 6 months.
Less than
if
6
you think
months.
about it. Because we were married by
March.
The beginning of the school year was end of
August or
August. So
September? Yeah.
we're thinking September, the last week of August.
Wow, that's 7 months.
So
Then we were married.
Yeah.
Wow, from first date to marriage, 7 months.
Yep.
Girl got that game, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Okay, great. Now, when I first started my business, I've talked about this on social media, but I don't know if I've talked to you about it. I felt like you were not supporting my business because you would tell me, why am I talking to those people on the internet that were not paying me? But in your mind, were you like, because for those of you who don't know, brief cliff notes, I left a $300,000 job. I started my own law firm. The way I built that law firm was through social media. I would do live videos and posts and get clients that way. But in the beginning, Chris thought that it was just like I was just playing games on the internet. And so I felt like he was not supporting my business. So talk a little bit about, where were you at in the beginning? Were you just like, she's wasting time, this is going to waste a ton of money for our family? Or were you really trying to like help me out?
Yeah, first things first is, let's start with some context. And we got to add this because by this time, you're on like business number 11. So let us not just jump and say.
What?
Yeah, because when we met in college, you were running a couple of businesses. And this is you ever had those people that you could tell they throwing shade on like family or friends or somebody because they be like, yeah, you had your little business. She actually had little businesses like here and there. They were just that. No shade. They were just little businesses. She was doing her little thing. It was like making a little money here and there. Like that was
Wow. Wow.
That was it. So don't be acting like I just was like, I ain't with this at all without no hope with the story. Because you had resume writing.
Yep.
You had you were doing the marketing for the brand, like the brand brand marketing.
What was it? Campus ambassador.
Yep, campus
programs.
ambassador. What else were you doing? You were doing something like,
I was selling Dove. Was I selling that with you? Like
yeah,
Microsoft products and all that?
So you weren't doing Dove.
Lenovo, the computer.
But you had done the computer. You had done Microsoft. I got a laptop out of that. Lenovo.
Yeah.
Red Bull.
I had a lot of little hustles.
A whole lot of little jobs. And then you didn't actually go to law school right away either. It was about a year and some change. So you worked a lot of different jobs and eventually went to law school, passed the bar, became an attorney, was working in big law. And that threw me for a loop because I thought that all of that work was to do what I really thought was your dream, which was to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
To work in big law.
And it was my dream.
And I thought we were working toward you becoming partner. And then one day you're like, I don't want to do this no more. And I was like, okay. So what was all these years of doing all this for? And then I don't think you knew right away, but you said you wanted to do something with speaking. And I was like, cool, because I always knew you to be a great speaker and you were speaking along the way.
Yeah.
Like you were on panels, you were hosting different events.
Yeah.
You were speaking in front of groups of people the entire time I've known you. So that didn't seem like it was far-fetched. What did seem far-fetched is you went from speaking in front of live crowds, audiences, getting, in front of schools and students to speaking to the internet.
You call it the internet like it's not people on the other side of those screens.
Nah, Jack, you might as well have been sitting in front of a TV that's turned off. That's what I thought in my head. That makes sense to me. That's what was happening, and there was nobody responding because there was nobody responding. So I didn't know what to
I didn't have an audience, so it would be like 1 or 2 people on there, but I was so excited. Okay, so as I recall it, I was really, really happy though. Like it wasn't a lot of people, but I was really happy that like, I think it was just the fact that it felt different than my other companies. And I had hope, like, this is really gonna work. And so I would be so happy. I'm like, oh, it's 2 people on my live. I was just speaking and I'd be like, you called it yelling, but I'd be down there giving these impassioned Facebook Lives.
Oh no, you were yelling. You were definitely yelling.
I thought you were not supporting me because I was so happy about it and you were just like, okay,
well,
these people on the internet.
What I was never in support of was you calling me while I was at work. And mind you, I work with students. So
Yeah.
she knew I was in school, in class with students. And she would be calling me like, yeah, 2 people showed up. And I'd be like, I got like 35 kids in front of me right now. So what am I supposed to do? But it was cool. I just didn't understand, and I don't think at the time you understood or could articulate how it was going to actually be a business. And that's very different. So you were excited about showing up online and communicating with the few people that were showing up. That's not a business. That's just you being excited to go live. You being excited to do. And so at the time, there was no communication around, hey, I got this really cool idea. If I talk to people over time and I get enough people to talk back, I can eventually sell them something. There was never any communication about that. It was just these people, like 2 people came or 5 people came, 10 people showed up. There was no selling of anything. It was just talking to the internet in my mind.
In your mind, but people started eventually. I don't think it took too long, maybe 6 months. People were really buying. They were buying legal services. They were buying trademarks. They were buying contracts. They were buying all types of things because it didn't take us long to hit our first $100,000. It was like the first year, the first 12 months, I will say, the first 12 months. So in your mind, were you like, let me save her from herself? Was that your thinking? Because you didn't really ever tell me to go back to work.
Nah, I think I was really I was concerned with, I don't know. It's hard to tell because I knew that I knew that there was there was something happening, but I still would stick to the fact that there were people who would show up, and I call them gassers. They would just show up and they would just be saying, yeah, go, but they would never actually truly support or buy anything.
Yeah, no.
I say that I make that distinction because they would show up and they would talk, but they would not come out to any of the in person. They wouldn't really invite other people. So I don't know if that's necessary. Maybe that's part of what people call paying your dues
or building a community.
Maybe.
Because everyone's not going to buy like it'd be great if everyone bought, but there are some people who are just advocates.
Yeah.
But I guess to your point, if they're not even sharing the word or sharing the video, then it's like, okay, what's the point? But you never know. It could be that those people's, because I don't know, it's like business. You're in business to make money, but don't you also think that a part of what we do is service in that we just need people. Like, I genuinely want people to grow their confidence. I genuinely want people to grow their sales, whether they give me credit for it or not. The ultimate goal is how do we help businesses make more sales, grow their confidence, and live a better life?
Yeah, that's now. I mean, you ain't going to sit here and tell me that, one, I didn't see that then.
Right.
I see that now. But you saw that then? Tell the truth. Because you try to say, like, I don't want you to make this seem as if, like, it was, like, that's what you were thinking then.
What I was thinking then was that this is a part of how I'm going to motivate people. And the more I motivate people, the more it'll help me in the end.
Maybe you said that to me in your head, but it never came out loud.
I never showed you the funnel. I was
you
never
told-
like,
you
this
never told
is
me
the
the funnel.
plan.
Even if you had never showed it to me, if you would have told it to me, I'd be like, oh, that makes a whole lot of sense.
But I feel like it didn't take me too long to go from like, okay, I'm motivating people on the internet, I'm growing an audience, I'm growing a community, to like, we have to sell them something. Because I created that ebook, and it was like a $65 ebook pretty soon. And I really was I was a calculator hero. So I was like, if I just sell 1,000 of these $65 ebooks,
Yeah.
we're rich. Like, this is great.
It wasn't too much just slinging that little ebook. You have to figure something else out.
That didn't work for me.
But I wasn't trying to stop you.
You weren't.
I just really wanted you to find a path forward that would allow you to show who you are to the most amount of people and to the people that would value it.
Yeah.
That's what I was really critical about.
Yeah, the valuing it piece is important. Even now, it's one of those things that you're constantly reminding me of. It's like, okay, how do you get in front of more people? Like, how do we get you in front of more people? How do we make sure more people know what you're trying to do? How do we like position you? I feel like, because even now it can be like, it's always that balance between serving people and making sure that the company is financially sound. That's a real walk. Now, for you, did you ever think, or what were your thoughts on like how much I've had to work as an entrepreneur? Because then I was able to call you all the time. We went out all the time. Eventually the business started doing well. We were able to vacation like we used to pretty quickly. How did you feel about that period when we were running like a 6-figure company, no team, no real stress, spending all this time together, to how it is now as it's gotten a little bit more stressful? I feel like I'm coming off of it being stressful. I'm finding my way. I feel like I'm a little bit more, I feel like I'm zen right now. I don't know what you feel about that, but.
Yeah, I think it went from being, we have a lifestyle business to business being our lifestyle. And
explain
that was, so we went from you showing up, adding value to the online community at the time, and them trading the value that you provided them by purchasing services or coming to the events. That actually afforded us back to the place we were, when we were working full time, right? We were kind of back at the level of comfortability. We were vacationing, and it was just us. So Christelle wasn't in the picture, our daughter. So it was just us. Like, we were chilling. We would go out on the weekends. We were at the theater, going to shows. We would, vacation whenever we really wanted to. Eat.
It was
nice.
Nice.
We were going out, hanging out in Chicago or
Friends
wherever
and
else,
family.
friends and family, like doing all the things, right? And we've always been kind of chill people. So that was good enough for us. So that was like the lifestyle. That business afforded for us to just kind of like hang out the way we were used to hanging out.
Yeah.
When it shifted to the business being our lifestyle, the main difference was that now everything was about business. Even if we were hanging out, if we're going to a show, if we're going to an event, it was all rooted in to benefit the business. It wasn't about, we're going to work and then we're going to go on vacation. It was, we're going to go on vacation so we can get footage, we can get clips, we can do these things, and this is going to help our business. It was like we were getting away, we were doing the vacation stuff, we were doing the cool stuff, the hangout stuff, all to make the business better and not the other way around.
What? This can't be right. Are these really my numbers? It feels like I could never get past this point and get consistent sales. One month I'm doing so great. The next, it seems like I'm not bringing anything at all. I don't understand. Am I doing something wrong? Am I not doing enough? Do I need to change my strategy? Maybe I should just quit. I need a sales intervention.
Did someone say sales intervention?
Who are you?
Ashley Kirkwood from Speak Your Way to Cash. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Now, I heard a little bit about what you're going through, and I have the perfect solution. I'm hosting an event called Black Women Sell Live, because there's only 3 things that could be happening here, right? You have your offer development, making sure you have the right offer for the right audience. Your sales strategy, making sure you have a strategic way to get the right people to buy the right offer. And then 3, your sales execution. Now, I don't have time to go through which one you're dealing with specifically, but at our event, Black Women Sell Live, we're hosting an experience that'll teach you how to perfect all 3 elements that we just discussed and so much more. We're even gonna help you to make sales during the event and take action after every single session that you hear. You wanna come?
Definitely, sign me up. Where do I join?
BlackWomenSellEvent.com. It's going to be incredible. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. It's in person, 3 days. You'll meet a ton of entrepreneurs just like you that are ready to sell more and scale more. I'll see you there.
Connections and information? Yes, I'll be there.
Yes. And how was that for you? Because I really didn't. It didn't matter. It didn't affect me at all. Like, it was probably my idea. So, like,
Yeah, it was.
For you, how was that? Like, how did you feel about that?
I felt like it was whack. And I felt as if it wasn't what we had talked about. It wasn't our plan. It wasn't our original goal, because our original goal was to have our business pay for us to live the life we wanted. That was almost verbatim.
Yeah, it was legit. Like, I feel like our original goal was just, let me get this business so me and you can hang out more.
Yes.
That was literally what it
And it went
was.
to the exact opposite of that.
It went
So
to
I
the
was
exact
like,
opposite.
and then I was also confused, because if I said anything about it, you were like, well, what? I'm like, hold on. I'm not the one that changed my mind.
You did not change your mind. I changed my mind. I wanted to scale a company, which was very different than having a lifestyle business. And I think that I didn't do a good job of communicating to you that my ambitions were bigger.
Yeah.
Because it went from like...
You didn't communicate at all that you're ambitious. You didn't communicate in like verbally in words. You communicated in your action, though.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, hell, I'm not doing this. No. First of all.
And you didn't like when we would go out and people would recognize us, and
Well,
you were like, I don't want to... Remember the argument we had about, I don't want to be famous?
The first time that ever happened, it was creepy. The first time we were on a walk with our daughter, and this guy just comes out of nowhere and was like, Ashley? You're Ashley Kirkwood. And he was like, oh my God. He was like, hold on.
And he was with his woman.
He was with his wife.
Oh, his wife.
He left his wife just standing there and came up to my wife.
was
I'm like,
hot.
hold on, bruh.
She was hot. His wife was
Me
hot.
and her looking like, who are you? Who is this?
And I didn't know this person.
And it was so weird. And then another instance, we were out with our daughter, and somebody looked at Christelle and was like, I know that baby. And I looked her in her eyes and I said, you don't know this baby, because we don't know you. And I was like,
Were you with Christelle alone?
I don't remember.
I feel like you were with Christelle alone because she recognized
Maybe.
Christelle and she didn't recognize you.
I don't know, but that's too much for me. I'm like a private person.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I see a group of people across the street, sometimes I'll go on the other side of the street just so I can avoid talking to people, because I don't know. I just don't.
You're private.
I just don't. I don't have it in me to be social all the time.
You definitely don't. Mm-hmm. But you can turn it on so people really can't tell. I mean, I love you for who you are. I didn't do a good job. Like, for anyone watching this, what would you say to the woman who's watching, who's like, my husband doesn't support me. I don't understand why he don't support me, blah, 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 blah. How should she communicate as her goals, desires, and ambitions change? What would you have appreciated for me to have done as I decide to go from, I just want this lifestyle 6-figure business, to we're growing and scaling this company to the millions and beyond?
Yeah, I believe I would have appreciated a conversation like, hey, this has been great, and I originally wanted this to be for our lifestyle, but I'm actually loving this part and this element of the business a whole lot more than what I originally thought. I want to do more of this. I want to scale this up. I want to grow this. I want to get in front of more people. I want to spend more time delivering these services or connecting with these people. I want to go to more events. I want to be a part of other organizations, to network, to be around like-minded people. I would have appreciated if that was something you verbalized and just been like, look, this is what it is. I'm sorry, but I changed my mind. And then we talk about, okay, so what could this look like for our life?
Yeah.
Because if you recall when we first got married, we were good about a list. We would get a sheet of paper and we would split our list and we would write down the benefits, we would write down the negatives, and we would come up with our compromise. We used to do that often.
Yeah.
We didn't do that.
No, we didn't.
We didn't do that. It was just a matter of you just started doing more of those things.
Yeah,
you just started speaking to more people, going to more events, and it became one of those situations where we were then going like this, because I wasn't anticipating on being in front of more audiences or connecting with more people. That just wasn't something that I was thrilled about without any kind of lead up.
Why didn't you ask me?
I don't know, but why didn't you ask me? I think it's one of those, it could be like a circular thing.
Yeah.
Like you didn't ask me, so I didn't ask you, so I was just like, cool.
This is what we doing now.
This is what we doing now. So I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing. and that's just gonna be it. I don't think it wasn't like a thought around it. It was just.
I mean, you talk to a lot of husbands in our community too about like how they can best support their wives, what it looks like. What do you think more husbands wish their wives knew about how support looks?
I don't know. There's so many different variables, so many different households and intricacies around couples. What I do know that is everybody, if you are married, dating, in a serious relationship, you have to be cognizant and aware of what your spouse, what your partner is doing for you, or what they're doing. And it's just a matter of, before you say they're not supporting, you have to be clear about what it is that they are doing, because support looks so different. Along the way, as our business grew, I can talk about from my perspective what I did do. I was a driver. I was your, provided printing. I would pick up the copies. Mm-hmm. I would actually make the copies. I got the room, the venue. I ordered and picked up the food. I greeted the people when they came into our events.
Yeah, always.
I cleaned up before and after. Before we had a AV team, I had my camera.
Yes, you did.
I was taking photos and videos of the spaces. I was a thought partner. So I did all of those things, and I was at home. I was cleaning, washing, right?
And in the beginning, you were still working, because we did our Speaker Ready Cash events at your old job.
Yeah, the first 6 events, 5 or 6.
That's true. Yeah, I think the first 4 or 5.
Yeah, it was like the first handful of events happened at my job, which I got to see on the weekend.
Whether you were supposed to.
Yeah. So if that's not support, then I don't know what support is. And so what has to happen is there has to be awareness, there has to be appreciation for even simple things that allow, if you are starting your own business and your partner is, taking care of the kids, they're, picking up food, they're ordering groceries, they're taking care of home, or they're driving you back and forth, or they're your security guard. There's a lot of different things and variables and ways this can play out. it is wholeheartedly out of pocket to say they're not supporting you. Until a person is either physically saying they're withholding loves, they're withholding resources, money, they're going behind your back and talking to your clients and saying that you shouldn't do that, or they're going behind your back to family and saying like you don't support it. Like those are clear-cut signs of non-supportive. Anything else is kind of like there has to be a conversation. There needs to be a conversation around it. And I've seen too many people say that their partner isn't supporting them. And I believe what they mean is their partner, their spouse, their romantic partner is not their business partner. And I don't even recommend that for everybody.
What you mean you don't recommend that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. In no uncertain terms am I saying I do not recommend that every couple work together in business.
So you think when people say they're not support, what they really mean is like this person isn't working in my business with me. They're not my business partner, which is different.
In many instances, I think the majority of instances where I've seen that the person is saying, the business owner is saying they don't support me, I believe that's what it is. Or here's another one. The business owner is not the financier of the company.
What is that? What do you mean? So the business owner isn't the one funding it.
Exactly. And the one funding it is working their day job or working their own business, and they're funding their spouse's business.
But that is support.
And they want more accountability. They're calling for more accountability because they're not seeing the results. They're not seeing.
So it doesn't feel like support. So let's say the spouse, the partner you're with is the one who is actually funding it, but they're also holding you accountable. Like you need to make more money, you need to do this, you need to do that, and they're like they don't support me, even though they're funding it.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. So you don't think people should necessarily work together because they're a couple?
I think that there should be, if there is a desire to work together, there should be a plan to work together, and how, and in what capacity. And so one thing that I think we learned about each other is we don't work in the same space, physical space. We have different separate offices, and it's not that big a deal. If we had to, we would work in the same office. But the nature of our business requires that you are on camera.
Yeah.
Like you're on camera as the main, what they call it, like the talking head, right? That's the type of that's the type of videography, right? But you're speaking directly into the camera. I am behind the scenes, sometimes operating. And so if we were both doing our roles, either I would interrupt you or you would interrupt me.
Right.
Right. So that's just the nature of, that's one thing. The other thing is, if we're in the same room, you don't be trying to do your work.
What?
Nah, you can't.
Yeah, I don't focus as well, especially in the summer. I be trying to go take a walk. I be trying to critique what he doing. I try to.
Oh yeah, you can't be in the room when I'm on sales calls. No.
Yeah, I be like, you didn't say that. Wait, did you ask them this? Did they do this? Did you ask for this?
Absolutely not.
Yo, several times Chris has told me that he's gonna quit.
Yeah, I quit probably every quarter.
Once a quarter.
I'm out.
He's like, I'm not gonna do this.
Hey, this has been ghetto. This has been cool. It's been all the things, but I'm out.
No, you do. You have quit, and I never accept your resignation. Actually,
you know what? I wouldn't expect anything different from you because I never got an official offer letter. So
let me get you.
Why would you expect a resignation? And I never had an offer letter.
Yeah. Do you work here for?
In fact, I hired myself. I technically.
These are not best practices.
Hired myself.
These are not best practices. Now, okay, so before we go, I will give you guys things that we have done that make it easier to work together. One of them is different departments. So Chris does payroll, and I really don't get involved in that. You know, I don't even think I know how to do it. So Chris does payroll, he does sales calls, and after his initial training, quote unquote, on, because it wasn't as much as training as he would like, But after his initial training on the sales calls and our sales process, I don't really touch that. I think that what works for us, every couple is different, but like having lanes. Like I know I'm gonna run the launch. I do not expect Chris to build the funnel. I may get in there and run some ads. I don't expect him to run some ads. And he never expects me to run payroll, ever. He's never been like, you gotta run payroll today, and then he's like, oh, handle my sales calls for me. No, like if it's his thing, he owns his thing. He does really well at his elements of the company. And then I do really well at mine. And then we just have to trust each other to stay in our own lanes. We didn't always do that. In the beginning, I thought that Chris becoming a co-owner of the company would mean like, we're going to do every little thing together. And that was a disaster. It wasn't good for our marriage. It wasn't good for our business. It wasn't good for our team. They probably were like, oh crap, which one do what do I do? What do I listen to? So having your own lane is really important. And then that's my one big tip. Chris, what's your one big tip?
My one big tip is to have clear-cut expectations of the working relationship, and have clear guidelines around workplace professionalism and the nuances that being a couple, especially being married, how that plays out. It's easier. It could be a little simpler if it's just you all on your team, but the moment you have other employees, contractors you're in front of other people as a married couple, but you're operating as business owners, then it becomes a lot more important for you to make sure that you just don't have professional guidelines, but you're operating and you're implementing those guidelines in the workplace.
That's a really good one. Yeah, because it can definitely get unprofessional or casual quick. And I think just keeping that mutual respect. Another thing, the last thing I'll tell you all, and maybe we'll do another episode on this, let us know in the comments. But another thing that I'll tell you guys is we did decide if it came down to like us working together as business partners or us being married, we would just choose the marriage, So like, obviously, right? We would stop working together if we couldn't work together in this business and stay married and just live our lives. I am really madly in love with Chris, and I started this business originally so that we could spend more time together, because I hated that as a lawyer, I would literally go away for trial and I'd be like, all right, babe, I don't know when I'll see you again. Like it could be a week, it could be 3 weeks. I went away for a 4-day trial and I was gone for 3 weeks. And I was just like, I got a man at home. And I don't know if y'all have ever dealt with this, but when you're a married woman, but you don't have kids, before you have kids, no one thinks you have a life. Like if you don't have children, they're just like, of course you can work all night. You don't have kids, lady. And I hated that. And that was was like a big motivator for like, I'm starting my business because my family matters to me. And my family at the time meant my husband. But that was not respected in the workplace. So shout out to all the folks who don't have children yet. You do have things to do. We know that. Okay, that's important.
Let these people know I got family at home.
Right. Like I got a family at home. They're like, oh, I didn't know you had children. I don't. I do, but you may say I don't. But that's what I'll say. So it's been beautiful. I do recommend you work with your partner. So I give the opposite advice as Chris. If that's something y'all want to do, I think there will be signs. We worked together in ministry before this. We ran a nonprofit together before this. So you kind of always worked together. We have a good working relationship, but I do agree with Kiss in that it's not a requirement. You don't have to, just because you're married, run your company together. That's not a requirement. But this was great. If you all like this, let us know in the comments. We'll do more. If you didn't like it, keep it to yourself. Totally keep it to yourself. But yes, thank you guys for joining us on the Speak Your Way to Cash / Kicking It with the Kirkwoods podcast.
You are not open to feedback.
Excuses low, energy high, excuses low, energy high, excuses low, energy high, excuses.